about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and there he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skilled by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett, and an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
At this point, Coach Gernot Rohr is actually fighting back. At this point in time, he has assembled some numbers of lawyers to actually get to tackle NFF over his severance, a package yet to be paid out to him. Also, Coach Austin Eguavoa actually altered the Nigerian Super Eagles 40-man list for the AFCON 2021. And we're going to be talking about Nigeria has been appointed as the head as the head of the NBA office right in Nigeria. Also, we look how Aubameyang was actually stripped of the captain band of Arsenal at this point in time. Also, we're going to be telling you about the Nigerian exploits at the ongoing World Weightlifting Championship. These and many more will come on at the show today. My name is Olawale Ayena. I can see in the studio we have Shani Usman and Alpha Ocho standing by to talk sport. How are you doing, Sam? Of course, Alpha, how are you doing?
Good. To be here again.
Of course, we'll go straight to our first story at this point in time, where Roy at this point is actually fighting back. He has assembled some numbers of lawyers to actually fight the NFF over his severance package after he was sacked by the Nigerian Football Federation. It was on Sunday that the NFF actually announced the sack of Coach Gernot Rohr and also appointed Austin Eguavoa as the interim head coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles ahead of the AFCON 2021. At this point in time, Roy is saying, as far as concerned, that he's still the head coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles due to the fact that his contract is still running. And at this point, he's saying the sack from the NFF is not standing as far as concerned. Talifu, how will you react to the comment coming from Coach Gernot Rohr at this point in time?
Well, I just want to advise that they should stop dragging that he's still the coach. The Nigerian Football Federation have the right to terminate his contract. But even as I said, they have that right. Then the Nigerian Football Federation on their own side also fulfill all the righteousness to be that right. Because if you look at the terms of the contract and what we're not prepared to see the contract, but what we hear, if you look at it vividly, the Nigerian has not defaulted in the agreement. It's still the process. So if he terminated his contract, the NFF has to fulfill all the righteousness and pay him up. Okay. So, and the only way that, to me, I advise NFF, there's no need to fight. If they feel they cannot meet up, because I don't see Gernot Rohr being on that money. More important that it's likely that I don't see him getting the next job, the next 2 for 4 years. So he will not easily give up that money that is due for it. So the best of NFF is to plead with him, call him for out of set, to call him for amicable and send him out of court. There's no need to go into a legal battle with him. Whatever legal battle to go to, even not a lawyer, but for more as definitely he will the case. So there's no need to go into it. Legal war with him, call him and send through him and make him. If you feel you don't have the money, give him time. And if you feel you can plead with him to just for 50, which I don't see it happen, they should just settle and make it right. As a gentleman agreement, instead of going to a legal war.
Alpha, let's look at this case critically. NFF has sacked Rohr, and they are yet to pay him a severe package. And Roy is still saying that, as far as concerned, he's still the coach due to the fact that he has not been paid his severance package. So can we say, are we safe to say that at this point in time, on paper, looking at all the issues surrounding the contract, can we still say that Shaw is still the coach of the Nigerian Super League?
Technically, he's still the coach. Because the truth is, if he takes the NFF to court, the court will look at the issues. Yes, fine. You are given a contract, and your contract states that at any point in time, if you are going to, be let off from this job, this needs to happen. Then someone comes and say that, please, we don't need you anymore, without fulfilling the other side of the contract. It's just like even in a job, they say if you are resigning, you give the company 1 month notice, or you fulfill. So it's almost the same thing. So if you take this thing, because in the eyes of the law, he's still the coach because his contract is still running. If you are terminating a contract, there's a procedure. There are things you need to do. If you terminate a contract, then you're going to pay him for the rest of the contract. I mean, we've seen this several happen all over the place in Europe. It happens. It happens. That's why you see some managers get sacked and you get paid a severance package of sometimes £10 million. It's painful to even the employer to do that, but they have to do it because if you don't do it, you're even causing bigger problems. Because if this matter gets to court of arbitration to sport, you became a different kettle of fish for the NFF. So all I'm saying is, NFF, fine, you have every right to sack the man. Nobody is against or saying you don't sack. In fact, a lot of Nigerians are happy that he's sacked. But like even when this matter was brewing, I said it here severally. I said nobody's against you sacking him.
Should the NFF should they have actually paid him off before getting to sack him, or them not getting to sack him now and
How
at this point in time?
How is done usually this kind of thing? If you're being sacked in the middle of your contract, they don't even announce it like that, like they did when you get a report. They call you, you sit down, and you guys resolve issues. Okay, Gernot Rohr, this is how at this point we felt that based on the situation at hand now, we want to part ways for you. But in parting ways, you still have 12 months on your contract. So we are parting ways with you, but this is what is left. We are going to pay you to severe you. It's done all over the place. That's why, like I said, in advanced clients,
so can we say that the NFF didn't actually do the homework well before coming out?
Because from the statement Ahmad Rupin made, there was nowhere he mentioned that we had a meeting with Rohr and asked him to leave. It was just the executive committee had a virtual meeting and we agreed, and you fire him. That's why, like I said, I was saying, in Senate clients, that's why sometimes you hear that so and so we part ways by mutual agreement, even if it's a sack.
Of course,
they call it mutual. Exactly, because you have to call the person, tell him why you're sacking him, not you have sitting among yourself as a committee. Then we read on the pages of newspapers that you sacked this man. So there's a lot still brewing on that.
Of course, the AFCON is just 3 to 4 months, 3 weeks away from now at this point in time. Does the Super Eagles actually need this kind of distraction, going into the AFCON? Hopefully, many Nigerians are saying this is the time for Nigeria to win the 4th title. We going to the AFCON with this crisis at hand. Do you see us, getting to win the AFCON title?
The crisis is unnecessary. We don't need it. This also explains further the inept attitude of the Nigerian Football Federation. The lack of management, last of management situation. Just like that one was another thing. What we expected to NFF it's not even to announce
exactly.
We have NFF Gernot has mutually agreed to end our contract. And at the same time, because I expected that I was hoping that before even coming out with that, they have done all the necessary, because there was a window of opportunity that was left after the match with Nigerians. Everyone said, "No, we need this man go. Let him go." I was waiting that they delay all the necessary planning because for them for able to fulfill all the righteous laws they're supposed to do. I'm totally disappointed that Rohr is still coming out to say this, because I was hoping that they must have ironed all these issues out before coming out to announce it. So it's get down to explain for us to see that those at the helm of our administration are not even worthy to just be around our football. They're not supposed to be around our football because they know nothing and they know how to manage crisis.
Is it that the NFF does not have lawyers, a legal team who should have advised them on the way to go?
They have a
Of course.
no. Let me even tell you.
I think
Me and you that are
actually
discussing this thing. We are not a lawyer. We are not a law by profession. But there's no. We know what this thing is
Of
mean.
course.
Because we have seen it. We have seen several examples of it that has happened. So you don't even need a lawyer. You don't even need any expert to tell you that this thing is black before you know that it is black. It's purely NFF fault, and I don't know how to manage issues because they do things at their anyhow they like without minding the consequences. And if not, if you look at the first release, what I heard before after the mind, they wrote that look, we can no longer guarantee your safety, which is clear. Your safety in the sense that the Nigerians are very pleased about football. Their national team is very dear to them, and they are not happy with the performance of the team. So anything can happen. Any angry fans can attack you anywhere because of the way you are not performing. So because we are no longer satisfied, we are not even as much as we want to keep you, but we cannot longer guarantee you because Nigerians are not happy with your performance because of their team. So this is what we need to ask. Hope that is enough to tell him, and what because of this. We have to allow you go. It's
not written in the contract that if Nigeria fans are
no, what I'm saying, having tell him that, but because of these are we have to pay you so that you can now go. That's what's supposed to happen. It's a simple thing.
Of course.
And if you don't have money to pay him at the moment, give him time, negotiate, agree with him. But this and okay, this is what we'll be paying instrumentally, but at the moment, take 10% of the money or take 20% of the money.
You don't sack someone on the pages of paper that
Will
has
this
a valid
noise,
contract.
will this noise affect the performance of the Super
Then
Eagles?
Yes.
there's a strike. This is
Distraction.
It's already affecting the team. By now, you're supposed to have known the guideline and the rule, all the preparation towards the serious.
It's just 24 days to come.
Other team has already started their preparation. Even though those that are not even in camp, they already know the line of the action. It's already affecting our team. It's already affecting.
Of course, let's see how the NFF led by Amadu Pinnick we get to actually get to ensure that they put this particular case to rest and ensure that the Super Eagles of Nigeria get to have an impressive performance in Cameroon for the AFCON when it gets to kick off in January. But still talking about the Nigerian Super Eagles at this point in time, where interim head coach talking about Austin Eguavon has actually altered the 14-man professional football list. Actually, saying that to that's sent to CAF at this point in time has actually included some players and actually get to remove some players. Players that he has actually included was the likes of Kelechi Nwankali. That actually caught my fancy right there. Talking about this also Akiwumi Amo that plays for Swedish side, and also looking at Usman Mohammed. He has actually get to include him on the 40-man list at this point in time. Just to let you know about 28 players we were actually going to AFCON. But before we actually get to dissect this particular topic, we need to go for a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about it. We'll look at Nigeria, a campaign at the ongoing, weight and lifting championship right there in Uzbekistan, and also why Teta actually was chipped the captain banned from Prek Abumayan. Also looking at the EPL results and also what we should expect today. It's a big game, West Ham Arsenal. So these are many more. We'll come after the short break.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Because there's no any middle of this.
Welcome from that short break. It's still Sports of It right here on the Leadership Podcast studio. So before we went on that break, we actually talked about how Austin Eguavona had actually altered the 40-man list earlier, sent by Coach Gernot Rohr to CAF for ahead of the AFCON. But now he has actually made some changes. He has included the likes of Kelechi Wankali, Akiwumi Amyo, who plays for Swedish side at this point in time. But Salif, we're looking at the new, inclusion to the 40-man list. Do you think that those players actually deserve to be in that particular list? But for me, I would say Kelechi Wankali actually deserve that particular spot.
If there's no anybody that deserves to go that list, Kelechi Wankali deserves to be there. Then that one I'm impressed with that. And one, let me just say that we are talking about the effect of the crisis already before this before the break. This is one of the effects of the crisis. Because now where we're supposed to look at the new ordering, not even a whole little provisional spot. Where we're supposed to, if he begins to ignore what we do to have the list in order and then try to go to remove from the 40 man, not to alter it again and all that. But even as we still have the time to adjust and make our mind. So I'm impressed that Kelechi Wankali is coming to the team. Very good. I like that. He could, either he's going to even make the team or he's going to, for my side, he should even make the team. Either he's going to play or not to play. He's supposed to bring young team into the play. And it's one of the how you play the media. It's one of the media attacking if you can. Well, that is good one.
Of course, Alpha, the likes of Usman, Mohammed has been included. Amau Akiwumi that actually plays for Swedish side has actually not been included because I know these Amau is very, very good. Despite the fact that he actually played in under 17, but he has been playing, has been bagging in goals for his club.
No, for me, I mean, for these other two names, well, not to sound winning, but I think for Kelechi Wankali, fine. I mean, a lot of Nigerians have always called for his inclusion. We all know the quality of this young man. It's just a shame that he has been severally been ignored, sidelined completely, especially with Rohr in charge. And sometimes when you tinker with the technical side of the team, this is the kind of thing because we have those players. Kelechi is a natural midfielder who would have helped in that midfield role. So I think it's a good one. But for Akiwumi, I haven't really watched plenty of him. So to be truthful, I haven't watched him really. So I'm not in a position to properly assess him. But I feel like Wagon must have watched him, seeing what he can do, and the same for Usman Mohammed. So I'm sure he knows these players better than us down here. So he might have his own reasons and his own justification for including them in the list.
Of course, let's wait and see how that pans out. 40-man list sent to CAF, but about 30 of those players will be invited to camp, where 27 of those players will make up the final list proper to the AFCON 2022 will be happening right there in Cameroon. Our first match might just be will be against 7 times perennial champions of that particular cup, talking about Egypt. But let's wait and see how that gets pans out. Away from football, we head straight to the Duncan Slamming game at this point in time, where NBA Africa has actually named Bemisola Abudu vice president and country head of Nigeria, where he actually opened that top office on the continent in 2022. Can we say this is an impressive way to actually go when it comes to basketball for Nigeria? They have actually appointed her to be in charge of the head office right there in Nigeria. Can we say this will actually pathway for more of the development of basketball in the country? Looking at the crisis, still rocking the Nigerian Basketball Federation.
It is serving and a departure from what we normally have in the center of our basketball. All the red in the center of basketball is crisis. This one is the positive development, good sharing, and what happened in Nigeria and NBA in the office here. That's one. I hope it will open doors for many Nigerian basketball players. So it is good development by them.
Of course, yeah, I mean, fantastic development. This kind of news that we're expecting to be here, especially in basketball. For the NBA to decide that, okay, we need to open an office in Nigeria. It means that they've watched Nigerian talents, see that Nigeria has potential of players. Because I can remember in time past, the only Nigerian player, I can't remember his name now, it was only Nigerian player was picked from the Nigerian league directly to the NBA. I think that was like 3 or 4 seasons ago. The only Nigerian. If not, usually before you go to the NBA, you must go through the college system. So for the NBA to pick someone straight from the local league straight to the NBA, that tells you how good it is. So I think there's a
remember, I
remember his name. So, but I think
it was.
I can't remember his name. But for the NBA to be doing this, it means that they know that Nigerians have potentials in this game and they can actually make it. So I think it's a good and fantastic news to look up to.
Of course, good and fantastic news. Let's hope that will actually create a new path for Nigerian basketball, not just for the national team, also for the league itself. But away from that, we head straight to the weightlifting championship actually going on in Uzbekistan at this point in time, where AJ Joy has actually won the Nigerian 4th gold medal in that Commonwealth championship at this point in time, and she actually won that medal in the 71 kg category, and actually put Nigeria in a comfortable position when it comes to the medal table at this point in time. Are we beginning to see the return of the glory days we used to have in weightlifting, in the continent and also outside the continent?
Yeah, just for me, I would say that I also foresee that this team is going to win more, still going to win more, and they are giving us more medal. So that is a good development, and what we need is to build on this success. To me, this campaign is already a success for Team Nigeria. And what we need is to work on this campaign on our league. Because if you came to do it, both on the continent and everything, we have something to
of course,
because we have something to fight for. And every other continent or every other country know Nigeria's strength when it comes to the we will have that power. So that is good. And I see, just like we say, I see this new part of the team doing well, and then that they need the support of all Nigerians.
Of course, though it was very, very painful. We did actually made it to the African, qualifiers, and also we didn't actually get to make it to the Olympic Games. But hopefully in 2024, we should see them getting to win medals, gold medals for the country at the Paris Olympic. Away from that, we head straight to the Forest at this point in time, where Mikel Arteta is saying that he is yet to decide on the new Arsenal captain following the removal of a Gabonese striker, talking about correct Aubameyang at this point in time. And they're actually saying that he was actually found misconduct of indiscipline, but they are yet to really tell us what Aubameyang really actually did for him to to get that reaction from the Arsenal management at this point in time. But we know that the last time Granit Xhaka actually did, they came out and told us, can we say it's the politics for them just to remove Aubameyang due to the fact that an African right about now is underperforming.
I don't want to say it's politics per se, because when he was given the armband in the first place, nobody said
he was banging those wicked issue.
Yes, fine, it could be. It's not even, most times your captain is not even the best player on the pitch. Sometimes you must have some certain qualities, and as a captain, there are some certain things expected of you, your conduct. So maybe the club haven't come out to explain what happened, but for Arteta to say that it was due to some disciplinary issues, then he said, I think it's a really clear statement from the club. So there has to something went on. I don't think the club just woke up and decided that strip this man. Even if the club decides to strip you of your captainship, you won't even question it. But if the club is giving reason that it was due to some indiscipline, then I think that something went wrong. So, but I mean, sad one for him. For a captain, much more is expected of you. You are almost like the coach on the pitch. So, and the players also look up to you. So if a coach and the club decides to strip you of the captainship due to some disciplinary issues, then so it be.
No, sorry for looking at the current Arsenal setup at this point in time. Which of the players do you feel actually deserve that to be handed the captain brand? Because we know that Arsenal player at this point in time, for me personally, I feel they don't really have a leader in that particular team that can actually lead the team.
You have hit the nail on the head. Arsenal biggest problem that Arsenal don't have a leader on the pitch, they don't have a leader on the bench. Data is not providing necessarily that from the bench, and even the should that kind of happy with that. That is what you and you can so clearly can see that it's only affecting their performance anytime. If you're talking about Obama Young, I believe that his treatment of his family is more has to do with the dropping on form than when
Imagine if
that,
it's banking go week in week out without
Like I said,
if he's banking, if he, I agree with you, you know, I will not say that he may not have any have an
go with your flaws.
yes,
Of course, exactly.
but
You have a case to make.
if I think now Obama was at the top form that he used to be, I don't think they have the one.
But you can't give him a waiver.
Although according to the story I read, the fact that he has had this man come out about 3 times on the plan, and they are giving him pardon. But Ateta has also tried to be careful the way he tried to jack some players. We see it. We saw it.
Actually backfire.
We saw it with Ozil. When he all of a sudden they say Ozil was not even good to him.
Froze him out of it.
It froze him out of it completely. Nice. Another top player is trying to freeze them. And from what I've seen now, because he didn't play the last match, and I don't see him play today. So he's gradually trying to ease him out of God. They are saying that the one Gabriel Mate has found a replacement. They have found a replacement in Matlen that Matlen has already stepped into his shoe. That it's like to Ateta, Obama can go to hell. And it's not done like that. But either you like as a captain, there are some players who respect Obama Young. And if you are unnecessarily conscious, just play, they can gang up against you.
Of course, player can actually gang up against the manager at any given time at this point in time. But before we go before we actually leave at this point in time, we will head straight to the results of our matches. Arsenal went down yesterday in the English Premiership. We saw the biggest defeat for Leeds United yesterday. Manchester City, it was 7-0 out, a completely whitewash of Leeds United. That is the heaviest defeat in the English Premiership ever. We also saw David Gerrard's side actually return back to winning ways with 2-0 winners over Norwich City yesterday. The game between Brentford versus Manchester United could not was actually postponed in that particular due to COVID-19. But match watching encounter, we get to say later today where we're going to see Brighton versus Wolves, Burnley versus Watford, Crystal Palace versus Southampton, Arsenal versus West Ham. For me, that is the biggest match for today. Leicester versus Tottenham, also another cracker. Chelsea versus Everton, and also Liverpool versus Newcastle. But that Leicester versus Tottenham, Chelsea versus Everton, Liverpool versus Newcastle will be tomorrow. But for today, we have Brighton versus Wolves, Burnley versus Watford, Crystal Palace versus Southampton, Arsenal versus West Ham. Quickly, guys.
If you look at tonight's match, Arsenal West Ham is going to be the London derby, and it's a match that every fan will want to watch. But everybody will definitely look out for this result of the match. I'm afraid for Arsenal. Because
they are playing at home, sure.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that if they like if they like their play inside their room. It doesn't mean this Premier League is not Nigeria. So I first time I like them, they are top form.
So you are giving West Ham to win?
I'm not giving them whoever play the best team will win on the pitch. And I say, if you Crystal Palace, Southampton is going to be another top tracker.
Of course, both teams need to actually win that particular match.
These guys they do something.
Much better.
Let me Southampton to walk and wash out the day because it's another defeat today.
Of course, our own few of our players will be in that game between Burnley and Watford. The likes of Trust called, also Emmanuel Dennis, who have been firing with us leaders in this season. So people are saying it is the best buy. That he is the best buy in the English Premiership so far. But after quickly, let's just get a reaction before.
Clearly, the Arsenal West Ham pick of the pack. Leicester Tottenham will also be another interesting one to watch. Let's see how.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow actually. Sure, Crystal Palace, Southampton, that'll be one to look out for. Burnley, Watford, of course, teams who play almost similar kind of football. So that would be a difficult one. I see a very cagey affair in that one. And Brighton Wolves, of course, Brighton haven't been, they're doing like they did last year, but by and large, I think they might still survive this season. So interesting games to look out for.
Of course, interesting games to look out for, and also the show has been interesting. Getting to talk sports with Salih Usman and Afa Achu right here in the studio. Many thanks to you guys for coming on the show today. Of course, our viewers will make a return bigger and better tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Sports Orbit right here on the Leadership Podcast Studio. But for now, my name is Wale Ayede. I'm saying you have a lovely day ahead of you. Bye-bye for now and God bless.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.